Again, my name's Mark Watkins. I'm the VP of Marketing for GloFiber. I'm going to give a brief introduction to GloFiber and then ask questions towards the end, or allow folks to also ask questions in chat. It may get a little bit hard to try to do that overall. You may have to figure out a way to get some questions and answered back to you in a different format. But I'm going to take us through this presentation and give you a little bit about GloFiber. So why GloFiber? GloFiber brings you the ability to have both speed and reliability at your home. With fiber technology, our reliability is unmatched. Our speeds are also unmatched as well, bringing our customers both symmetrical speeds, meaning they will have the same upload speed as download speed. The second reason why GloFiber is transparent pricing. So what we do is we sell at our retail rates. We don't have promotions. We do a special that is 1 free month to get started, but we quickly move to retail pricing after that first free month. So transparent pricing is key to our strategy, and that is a big key tenet of who we are. The third piece is local customer service. Local customer service is who we are. We want to be in the places that we serve. We have local community service reps across Virginia that are answering the phones. We have little to no wait times on our customer service, and we always bring that in a friendly way, and we answer our phones in a quick manner. And the last piece is future-proof technology. I mentioned about fiber technology being future-proof, and that's something that we want to deliver to Ford's Colony. So why GloFiber? So right now we know that Ford's Colony is provided from Cox Communications, and wanted to give you some of the differences, the main differences between Cox Communications and GloFiber. First one is fast upload and download speeds. As I mentioned, for GloFiber, you're going to get the same upload and download speed, and that's super important when you think about things like Zoom calls like this, gaming, potentially working from home. All of those things require your faster upload speeds, and Cox Communications can't offer those fast upload speeds like GloFiber. Fiber to the home, so fiber to the technology that goes to your home, that is provided through us. That's not the same that's provided through GloFiber. They're in a coax network. We offer fiber straight to the side of the house to make sure that you have the best speed and reliability via fiber. Local customer service, I talked a little bit about that. Unlimited data, that's the other piece as well. We don't charge or cap your data, so you have the opportunity to use as much data as you want, and there is no data caps or no overage charges with GloFiber. The next piece is transparent pricing. We talked a little bit about that already. We don't have gimmicks. We don't run promos. We don't have contracts. What we say the price is, that's the price, and that's really important for us to stand by that pricing model, and we think that our consumers really enjoy that as well. No contracts, I talked about that in the transparent pricing, and then the ability to have multi-gig speeds. We are going to be able to offer Ford's Colony residents speeds that are 1.2 gig, 2.4 gig, and eventually up to 5 gig. Those are speeds that you're not going to get from your provider like Cox Communications. So what do we provide? GloFiber provides internet speeds of 600 megs, 1.2 gigs, and 2.4 gigs. So very quickly ramping up to launch 5 gig across all of our markets, which is a super fast speed for those customers who really need it, who have those high bandwidth needs. We also offer streaming TV, so multiple packages that include your local channels, very much like TV service that you get with Cox Communications or another provider today. And then we also offer home phone service. So for those folks that still use home phone service, we have home phone and offer that as a part of our service offerings with GloFiber. So just a little bit about GloFiber customer service. We participate in what is called a Net Promoter Score survey. And a Net Promoter Score survey is a industry-wide, is a customer service metric that many companies use. You can see other top brands that use this as a metric of their customer service. And when you look at GloFiber Internet's rating versus what are the typical internet service ratings, we are over 10 times that. So our internet NPS rating is 65.5%. When you look at internet service in general, overall, it runs an NPS score of about 6%, which is not very good. GloFiber at 65.5% is an awesome rating. We stand by that. That's something that we're super proud of. When you look at other brands, top brands that are out there that have high NPS scores, those are brands like Starbucks, Apple, Netflix, and Amazon. So GloFiber has a comparable customer service rating score to those top brands. So we're super proud of that. That's something that we want to continue, and that's something that we want to make sure that we deliver for the residents of Ford's Colony. When you think about our local support teams live and work in Virginia. So we have customer service reps that are in Roanoke, that are in Lynchburg, that are answering your phone calls locally in Virginia. And we do that with very little to no wait times on the phone. So most of our wait times are under 30 seconds on the phone or under 60 seconds on the phone. So you're not having to go through a bunch of IVR options, press 1, press 2, and then get to a rep. We answer the phones very quickly, and we're very proud of that. And that's what really helps our high NPS scores that you saw on the previous slide. The other thing that we're super proud of is our communication strategy for when we roll out fiber service to different areas. We want to make sure that you as residents of Ford's Colony and that all of the areas that we go out to really understand what is going to happen when we come into your neighborhood, when we come into your community and we lay fiber. So we want to make sure that you're well aware of that in advance. So pre-construction, we are sending out information to all the residents in those areas 30 days prior to construction about what's going to happen when GloFiber construction begins. That's a very nice piece. It talks about construction. It talks about what's going to happen in your street, that sort of thing. We also follow that up midway through the construction with another piece that says, hey, we've started our construction, or it's about ready to get started. And we also place door hangers, but when in the case of Ford's Colony, we're going to place those in your newspaper receptacles. So the door hangers will go there. We're not going to hang those on the doors, but those will happen right before the day of construction, and they'll have a lot of great information on there for you to understand what you're seeing in your streets as far as construction is concerned. Once we have post-construction, you'll start to receive emails, or you'll start to receive mail, that says, hey, we're here to deliver service. Here's how you go and sign up. There's lots of ways to sign up. You can sign up via online. You can also call in to our call center and sign up. So those are the best ways to really go about signing up for your service. And then we also will have the installation. Once we've done installation, we also like to put some door hangers on your neighbors in your newspaper receptacles to let them know that you've gotten GloFiber and that your neighbors should check out GloFiber as well. So we will make sure that we put those in the newspaper receptacles when we do that installation. But the idea here is that we want to make sure that you're well aware of what's going on, and we make sure we do that in a communication to your household 30 days prior to construction, and then all the way through until we've installed cable or installed fiber into your home. The other piece that we've also done for Ford's Colony is we've created a custom landing page. So you can see the URL for the custom landing page there. It's glofiber.com/Ford's Colony. And you can see a picture of what that looks like. Here, I will try to also take us to that page so that we can take a look at it together on the phone here on the Zoom call. But it is going to allow you to see exactly the time frames for when construction is going to happen in your area, in your specific area inside of Ford's Colony. It also is going to provide you with some different information around construction, installation, and videos. So there's 2 videos on this URL or on this page. One is specifically about construction, and the other one is specifically about installation. And so these videos are super helpful to watch to understand what is going to happen in your neighborhood, how is the installation going to work, those sorts of things, prior to us coming into your area. And the last piece I wanted to leave you with before I go to that Ford's Colony page, because I do want to finish with that, is a look at our GloFiber rates and our GloFiber pricing. Obviously, it's super important to you all. You have a choice for your internet provider. You have a choice for your television provider. So I want to make sure that you understand exactly what we're offering. And like I said, we don't do contracts. We don't do promotions. We don't do gimmicks. All of these are our retail rates. We do offer our first month free. So that is one promotion that we do. But after that, we go to these rates. So we offer our 600 meg. That's our starter internet service, our first speed of internet, both 600 meg upload and download for $65 a month. We offer our 1.2 gig service, upload and download for $80 a month. We offer our 2.4 gig service for $135 a month. And then coming soon, like I said, is our 5 gig service. It will be available once the first Ford Colony residents are turned on. That's why it's on the slide here. It's $285 a month. So again, this is a high-end product, ideal for those heavy internet users. On the bottom, you'll see our TV plans starting at $49 a month for your most basic TV plan, all the way up to $192 a month for the TV plan that really has everything, all of your premium channels, HBO, Cinemax, Showtime, etc., all of your DVR functionality, and video on demand as well. We also offer fiber phone, which is the home phone service. Same phone service you have, it's fiber delivered, but it is very similar to the phone service that you have right now. Nothing much different than what your home phone service has. So this is our GloFiber rate card. I wanted to take a second here to showcase the GloFiber Ford's Colony website so that you could have a look and see what that looks like. So I am going to scoot this over here. Yeah, so what we're trying to do here is really lay out the map for Ford's Colony and different sections and how we're going to deliver service and the time frame that we're going to deliver service to those different sections of Ford's Colony. So you can see this is the internet site. This is the map of the internet site that you can see. This is Ford's Colony. And what we've tried to do is really allow the residents to see, based on color coding, what areas are going to be delivered and when those are going to happen. So you can see that we've already got a red area here that we are starting construction here in March. And the blue area will start in April, which is up at the top of the screen here. These are the first two areas that will get construction for GloFiber service. Now that's the construction start date. That's not the service delivery start date. So all of these are all the construction start dates. And I will note that these are subject to change. So it is a great idea for you to be able to go out to the Ford's Colony site every so often and check to make sure that you're seeing exactly when your area in Ford's Colony is going to get construction from GloFiber. So these are a bit subject to change, but we're doing our best job to keep this up to date on a weekly basis so that we're making any adjustments as needed based on our construction schedule. The other piece I would like to just point out, and I'm not going to play the videos because I think it might be too much for the Zoom call here, are the construction video here. So this is a great video. It's about 2 or 3 minutes long. And this is one that you can view on your own, but it's a great video to talk about what to expect during construction. And then the last video is a video for installation. So what to expect during installation is also a great video to watch as well, so you can understand exactly what will happen during installation.
Does GloFiber provide any tools and/or services and/or recommendations to aid the migration of Cox email IDs to GloFiber? Issues I anticipate are resident address book on Cox correspondence used for Cox email ID and so on. So I think to net out that question is, does GloFiber host email?
That was a question that came up. We have no issue with transferring the email. I think Anthony Redner is on the phone from an installation perspective, may be able to give us a better answer to that one. But We don't typically give out GloFiber email addresses, but Anthony, is there anything you could add on email transfer that would help the residents here?
No, so hi everybody, my name is Anthony. I'm the field operations manager for Glo. We do not migrate email addresses. That's something that you would have to go to your current provider with. I believe that most of the cable companies now will allow you to keep that email address. I don't believe there is a fee associated with it, but that is a question more for your current cable provider than for us. To kind of go over a few of the questions that were asked in here that kind of have a common theme. Our installation for residential customers is free. That is not a charge. Devices needed for TV. We use Fire Stick, Apple TV. Some of our Google devices have the Glo app on it. So it is a streaming platform that we use for our TV. You can use your own router. We currently provide EERO. I believe that is a 10-month or $10 charge. We do not charge for your modem. Our modem, I don't want to call it proprietary, but it's not something you can buy off the shelf. So we provide the modem. There is no cost to that. You can use your own router, or we can do our EERO, like I said. Roku does not have an app for Glo TV. Actually, that's one little place that doesn't. I see a lot of questions about existing phone numbers. We port phone numbers from a myriad of different providers now: Verizon Wireless, CenturyLink, Comcast, I believe Cox, and a couple other areas. So you can keep your own phone number. It just needs to be ported, and whoever you deal with, whether it's through our online platform or a sales rep, that will be handled with them with a couple different documents that have to be signed, and we can get your number ported over. Modem is required. It is technically called a optical network terminal. So it basically converts your fiber to usable data, to usable internet. So it is necessary. We cannot plug into anything with a current fiber input. It has to go to our ONT. So I know that I'm sure a few people have a fiber rack set up in their house or something along those lines. We cannot use that. It's got to go to our ONT first, and then it can go to either your routing system or our routing system. Mark, you have to keep me honest on this. We do not charge for service calls, correct?
Yep, that's correct. We do not.
Any of the trouble calls, if you have an issue, we will send a technician over. It is not a charge. I know Mark mentioned fiber to the home. It is fiber to the ONT. So we will put a device on the side, a small box on the side of your house where our fiber from the street will end, and then we will transition to a fiber that actually will run into your house. We'll generally use a centralized point in the house is where we would want to bring everything, just so you have the best coverage. But sometimes there are restrictions, whether you have a fully finished basement or just other issues that could cause us not to be able to get to the center of the house. We do have the mesh Wi-Fi, so that can help mitigate some issues there. And Rick, I will let you continue moderating. I think I've spilled my guts a little.
No, thank you. I've been reading through some of the comments, and we've got some questions in-house here. Go ahead.
Actually, first question, since he had talked about the mesh, the EERO mesh Wi-Fi, what version is he going to be? Are they going to be putting in, and if you provide the Wi-Fi router?
So it would depend on the speed that you're getting. So if we go with the lower tier, the 600, I believe we use the EERO Pro 6, and then with our higher speeds, anything over a gig, we need to use the Pro 6E. So that's your tri-band network pumping out 2.45, and they call it 6, but it's really 5.7. But that's what we use for anything above 1 gig.
Yeah, and we also make sure that the mesh network works throughout the house. So we want to make sure you have enough EERO devices in your home to support the size of your home. So our installation reps will make sure that they leave you with the Wi-Fi mesh network and the devices that will cover your entire home.
My router, and I have ROKU devices. How does ROKU devices get the signal from the router? Presently, the way I'm set up, the cable, box cable goes into my TV, and then an HDMI connection from the TV to the ROKU box. Is it all wireless?
Yes, for our TV service, it is a wireless mesh network. So our TV service works with an Amazon Fire Stick. It also works with Amazon Fire TV, Apple TV, etc. So those are the streaming platforms that you would need to utilize in order to get the Wi-Fi TV service to your home. It is run through the Wi-Fi network, not direct connect into your television. Anthony, anything else to add on the TV connection portion?
No, so while, most of the connections will be wireless, it'll just be transferring your smartphone, your tablet, your laptop to the new network that's created with Glo. For some of your wired devices, we can come up with a solution for that most of the time. The EERO, while it's technically a mesh device, right? We can still plug stuff into it. There are still ports on the back of it. If we need more than one thing plugged in, we can put a network switch in, and we can connect more than one device to it. So this doesn't eliminate your hardwired things. I believe I saw somebody with a question about smart panels. If we can get to your smart panel, that is one of the places that we would want to go. One of the other routes that we could do is we could put the ONT where you currently have a Ethernet cable in the house and backfeed your smart panel and put a router in there and then feed the rest of the house that way, so that you don't lose your hardwired connections, because that can really help your internet situation at your home to begin with, right? Having hardwired devices doesn't suck up your wireless bandwidth.
One other question that came up several times on the chat feature was, we noticed on the rate card, particularly the TV service, that there was so many TVs for different tiers. Is there, if you have more TVs than you have for a particular tier, can you get additional TVs hooked up? Is it on an a la carte pricing basis?
Yeah, when I was showing that screen, and it talks about streaming live TV on multiple devices. So what that means is streaming at the same time. So I think, for instance, our 2 lower package, you can stream live TV on up to 3 devices at one time. So that means they can all work simultaneously at the same time. The TV plan that is the largest TV plan, the $192 one, you can stream up to 6 devices at a time. So those are at the same time. So if you wanted to have 6 or more devices at the time, I don't think we sell that in an a la carte basis. That's something I can also take back. I think the 3 devices at one time or 6 devices at one time meets most consumers' needs to watch that many televisions simultaneously.
When I drove in the main entrance this afternoon, I did see that GloFiber had used machinery to dig up the dirt, some concrete rubble, and it seems like there's very little being done to minimize the damage to our landscaping here. Our grounds people work so hard to keep our whole neighborhood beautiful. Homeowners do, and I've seen some areas where the ground is disturbed, but they're not doing anything like trying to put it on a tarp or in a container of some sort until they can get it back in the ground. What are you doing to try to minimize the damage as you're going down our streets? We are not a flat neighborhood. We have erosion issues here that we try to mitigate. What can you do to help us here with this problem?
Yes, ma'am. I can help answer that question. So we did start construction today. We are using tarps it's hard to see the pile of dirt under with the tarp underneath of it. But we are placing tarps. We are cutting the blocks of sod out. We lay them to the side, and then we are putting the dirt on top of the tarps. So the construction will look like a construction zone. It will be difficult to see, but we are committed to restoring that 100% after we're done. We are asking to at least give us a couple of days. You know, once we're doing construction, have us come through the next day and do a final restoration. We'll seed straw. We'll put down some topsoil if need be. But our goal is to leave it or at least put it back how it was prior to us being in here. So, but we understand it will be a challenge.
Yeah, I have a question about tiering. I have Cox gigabit service right now. It typically runs between 500 and 700 meg. And usually when those are advertised, there's a little asterisk that says up to a gigabit. And that's what the Cox service is. When you say 600 meg and 1.2 gig and 2.5 gig, is that an up to, or is that a guarantee that you're going to get that amount of bandwidth?
Take that one, Mark.
Yeah.
So obviously some of the firmware in our equipment will suck up a little bit of that bandwidth, but traditionally we'll take our gigabit service. For example, you'll get 940 in both directions, 950. Your 2 gig service, we tend to bump that up a little bit, and I think we're running about 2050, and that's symmetrical, right? So, you know, Cox is telling you that you'll get your gigabit service, but that's one direction. You're getting 1 gig in both directions with us, 1.2. 600 in both directions, 2.4 in both directions. So it's a symmetrical service, and you'll get very close to it as long as your equipment can handle that speed.
Well, question, why would I need a gig upload? I mean, I use it for TV and to surf the internet.
So that gig will really just kind of help your other devices in the house. If you have that many devices, maybe the gig service isn't right for you. It's not right for everybody, right? But, you know, there are people that are really struggling with that 5, 10, 15, 20 that the coax providers are currently giving them. So it just, for us, it just makes more sense to open it up to a symmetrical bandwidth rather than to really constrain everything and say, okay, we'll give you a gig over 100. It just makes sense for us to open up the network to allow it to be symmetrical.
Okay. I see all your pricing. It looked like it was all sort of a la carte. Are there any package plans? Because I did not see anything listed on the screen.
We do, when you bundle services with us, you do get a discount. So if you get 2 or more services, you get a $10 discount. If you get 3 services, a $20 discount. So we do a bundle discount for those customers who take 2 or more services. But outside of that, we don't do any different type of packaging. It's more a la carte, as you said.
I have a question about your TV packages. If in my home right now, we are streaming off the wireless on everything in the house. Okay, so if we go to GloFiber to be able to stream off our televisions, are we going to be required to have to buy one of the TV packages? Or you still can run off the wireless?
It depends on how you want to watch your TV. I mean, if you don't want to subscribe to TV service from us, you don't have to subscribe to TV service. You can just get internet service from us. Now, I don't think you'll be able to subscribe just to like Cox Communications potentially for their TV service. I'm not sure, but if you just want to do internet through us and stream how you're normally streaming wirelessly with your TVs today, you can do that today with our internet service that will hopefully allow you to do that a little bit better with the symmetrical speeds that we offer.
Thank you.
I had a quick question about your installation. I looked at your video this morning, and it was saying that you had the ability to go in and find out where gas lines and that type of thing are there. The thing that concerned me, how much damage are you going to do to the yard? Because you indicated that you don't know where our irrigation systems will be and what kind of responsibility we have, because I can't tell you what's running underneath my grass on that.
No, and we understand. We go into every yard realizing that there's going to be a private utility there, whether it be irrigation, dog fence, but all the main utilities are marked by the operator. So your gas lines are marked, your power lines, phone lines. Sometimes they are mismarked, and we do find those the wrong way. Unfortunately, they can get damaged. But we are asking people that if they can help out with their private utilities, with their irrigation lines, their pet fences. If you could put some flags down, give us an idea, at least where the sprinkler heads are located. That'll give us an idea of how that water line runs. If you can give us an idea of where your pet fence is, most of the time we're going to be deep enough to where we won't damage it. But if we do have to set a box or place a handhole, it could be within that location. We do have material on our vehicles that can repair these damages, your irrigation line, your pet fences. So we will fix those lines that are damaged by us.
Do you trench or drill when you put in?
We don't do any trenching. We are using a directional drill, which was used today from Long Hill Road down to John Pott Drive. The other sections, which are kind of a smaller location for us to use, we cannot use a directional drill. It's too large, and that's more for long straight shots. What we use, it's called a missile. I mean, it sounds destructive, but it's about a 5-foot steel cylinder. It's got a pneumatic piston on the inside, and it runs off an air compressor. So it'll thump from pit to pit. So we'll dig pits probably every 20, 30 feet apart. And then we'll lay that device in that pit, and it'll go from pit to pit. So what we do there is we'll come through, we'll cut out your side, lay it to the side, dig that pit, which is about 5 foot long, about 1.5 feet, 2 foot wide, place those spoils on a tarp. And then once we're done with that, we'll place the spoils back in that pit. We'll tamp it. It'll be a mechanical tamp, so it will not sink. Then we'll lay your side back on top, and then we'll seed it and straw as well.
Could I ask a question?
About 24 to 30 in the yard, and about 36 crossing the street. So and driveways as well. We'll go deep crossing driveways, so there's no concern of cracking the driveway.
The dates,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
the dates shown on the slide were construction start dates. What are your service start dates?
Service start dates are going to obviously depend on construction completion. So once we do, we'll place the interduct, the pipe itself. We'll come back through, place the fiber optic cable. Then we'll have our splicing team come through and splice that cable. Our biggest holdup now is we have not placed the main fiber along Long Hill Road. We're still waiting on some VDOT permits there. So I don't have a definitive answer as to when the in-service date will start. We planned on being up and ready in the first section of Ford's Colony by about mid-April, end of April, but that might get pushed back a little bit due to that mainline fiber not being placed.
You mean service being ready mid-April?
Yes, sir. But since that mainline cable, we're still on hold along Long Hill Road. We're waiting on VDOT permits, so that project's been pushed back a little bit. But we went ahead to get started in the neighborhood itself.
Yeah, when I looked through the different TV packages, I may have missed it, but I didn't see any sport channels like SEC, ACC, MLB, NFL, and so forth and so on. Are those things that are added by GloFiber, or do we have to get that through a streaming service?
This is Mark again. We're going to have several of those sport options for you. I don't know all the specifics. What I can do is we can make sure that we have a channel lineup that is going to be for Williamsburg. That's something we could potentially put on the Ford's Colony site so everybody could have a look at the channel lineup and what options are out there. So we'll look into doing that so you can see and have visibility into what the channel lineup is.
Right now, if my Cox modem or router breaks, I can run down to the local Cox store and get a replacement within an hour. What happens if one of your pieces of equipment breaks?
If one of our pieces of equipment breaks, you can contact us and we will have a technician come and replace that piece of equipment in your home and you wouldn't have to run out to a store to do it. We'd actually run out, we would bring it to your home and get it connected for you.
And what kind of time period?
Anthony, do you know what type of windows we have on our trouble calls?
We can typically do it same day or next morning, depending on the time of day that it happens. We do have on-call technicians like anybody else has. So if your service is out, that's a priority for us and we want to get it back online. So obviously it'll be a call to tech support. They'll run you through some traditional things because we don't always know what's happening without being there. But our time frame stays under 48 hours from it. I just want to address one question that I see keep coming up about, we'll call it quality of service and downtime. So, you know, this is a fiber network that we're putting in. We have 2 active places on our network. What we call the POP, the head end. It's usually a small fiber hut in the middle of nowhere that has a backup generator on it that can run for up to 72 hours before being refueled. And the only other spot is the modem in your house, the ONT in your house. Those are the only 2 spots that have power on the network. So when you're saying that you're getting intermittent outages with Cox, it's because they're losing power on their network or one of their active devices is going down. We've only got 2 on our network. So the maintenance on a fiber optic network is so much more minimal. We do not interrupt our customers in the middle of the day. We have a maintenance window from 12 a.m. to 6 a.m. And Mark, correct me if I'm wrong, we have an email that usually goes out beforehand saying, hey, your network's going to be down between these hours. You should notice a 10 to 15 minute interruption and we'll get it fixed. Now, occasionally there are emergency breaks and those tend to take a little bit longer with fiber. We're talking about a couple of hours, just the nature of replacing fiber if something gets hit. But most of our areas are what we call redundant. They have a backup feed. So normally we can try and flip that switch and get you up and running. There tends to be a small impact to the network on, you know, some customers not immediately coming back up. But again, once we get the fix done, everything comes back up and you're back to your resilient fiber network.
Yep, that's great, Anthony. I will say that that's really what, when I presented earlier, our NPS, our customer satisfaction score, it's really built on, you know, our reliability. So that limited or no downtime that you'll have, as well as the local customer service and support that you get with GloFiber.
If your house needs if it's a larger house and you need more than 1 device in the house, do you charge for that?
More than 1 EERO mesh wireless device, we do not. We only charge for 1, so it's $10 for that router. If you need more than 1, we will supply you with more than 1.
Those routers cover up to 2,500 square feet. Again, like Mark said, our technicians are walking through the house with a device that's measuring your Wi-Fi connection, your Wi-Fi throughput throughout the home to kind of see where those weak spots are, where those dead spots are, so that we can place a different second EERO if necessary. More than 2 kind of seems to be overkill. And when we start talking about 3, then you're really creating a different quality of service issue.
I apologize if I'm not understanding when you talked earlier about how we get the service from you. So you bring fiber into the house. It has to go to your modem. It has to be a special kind of modem. Now, I already have my own EERO mesh system in the house. Will they work with your system? So I have 3 devices. I have a master and 2 others around the house. Now, how do you connect your modem to that EERO?
Just same way that your Cox router is currently connected to your EERO system now. It's just an Ethernet cable from the back of our modem to the back of your device. So just a change in your IP address, and usually everything is golden from there. Sometimes you need to refresh the MAC on your equipment just because it's a different provider, so different IP address, different MAC. So it just needs a little bit of a refresh. But yeah, you can use your own routing system that you currently have in your house if you don't want to go with ours. We've come into contact with very few that don't work with our system. It tends to be the older stuff, but any of the stuff currently on the market tends to work well with our system.
Okay, thank you.
Is it possible to get a street by street map of where the lines will go?
We can check into that. The map that we have on the website, I know it is a little bit small. When you are in your browser, you can actually blow that up and see the street names, I believe. But we can see if that's something that we can get more detailed on our website to see if that's a possibility.
I appreciate your willingness to provide transparency with your pricing. My question to you is, without subscription contracts, can you give us an idea of some of the history of your rate increases over the past 5 years?
Yeah, typically when we just had rate adjustments this year on our video service, so we have not had a rate adjustment on our internet service. We actually increased our speeds and kept our customers at the same rates. So we increased speeds this year. We took customers from 300 megs to 600 megs and kept them at their same rate of $65. We also upgraded our 1 gig speed to 1.2 and kept those customers at their same rate at $80. So we try to minimize as much as we can any kind of yearly rate adjustment. We do have costs that we experience more so on the TV side than on the internet side that that we in turn kind of have rate adjustments for on TV. So we've had one rate adjustment on our TV service that happened this year, and we will be looking at kind of annual adjustments where it does make sense, but we try to avoid that as much as possible.
Real quickly, we have a TiVo device and it can use a cable card. Do you support those?
We do not support TiVos with cable cards. It's a streaming. Our video service is a streaming service, so we don't have a cable card network.
Roku comment or caveat: if you have Roku with Wi-Fi connectivity, there should be no problems whatsoever, right? It's just
Correct. And I may have misexplained that. We support Roku, right? Anything that has a wireless connection can connect to our network. I apologize if that came out wrong. What we don't support with Roku is our streaming service. So our Glow TV is not available on Roku. You can still use YouTube, Sling, Netflix, HBO, whatever you want, and whatever you currently use on your Roku, you can still use. It's just our app, our Glow TV app, is not available on Roku devices.
On recording devices, is there one recording device for the entire system in the house?
So we don't actually have a recording device. It's all cloud-based DVR. So there's no central recorder or no DVR box. It all gets supported through the cloud.
Yeah, there's no storage that is on a box. So, you don't necessarily have to worry about DVR recordings being on a stored box for whatever reason. It's all stored on the cloud.
So is there a limit on how many programs can be stored on the cloud?
Yeah, it depends on the level of service. So that's a great question. Thank you. So if you get the lowest level of service, you get 25 hours of cloud DVR. If you get our medium kind of size service, it's 100 hours of cloud DVR. And then if you get our large package, it's about 250 hours of cloud DVR that you would have.